All right, welcome to our Women Leading the Fitness Industry series. I am Shannon Fable, your host today, and I'm beyond excited to be chatting with Jenny Ford about adapting to the virtual world. Jenny, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Shannon. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. You and I go way back, and it was so fun
Yeah.
to share photos back and forth of various events. I was planning to show them today, but I didn't want to manage the jumping on. I want it to be all about
Yeah.
you, but we'll share them later. It was so cute to see,
It
but
was
fun
so
to
fun.
see. Yeah, those photos of various events where we've gotten the opportunity to be together. And
Yeah.
your smile, as you guys are seeing, it's always infectious. And I remember seeing that in the audience every time I was presenting.
Um,
And the way I wanted to start this is I do remember you did a pre-con with me about the business of fitness. And there were
yes.
a lot of female entrepreneurs in there. And I was immediately so impressed by what a clear vision you had of what you wanted to do, who you wanted to serve, and the why behind your idea. So I can't wait for the audience to hear about that and so much more today. So let's dive in. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So you've been a Fit Pro for a long time. I know you hold
Yes.
ACE Health Coach and Group Fitness certifications. And I think you
Yes.
just recently completed a pretty intensive yoga
Yeah.
certification too.
Yes. Yes.
Hey,
200 hours.
congratulations.
Yes. Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh,
Yeah.
200 hours. So take us back
Yeah.
to the beginning. How did you get started in the fitness industry?
So, probably about 12 years ago, I started teaching water aerobics to just at a community center.
Mhm.
The deal was if I taught these water aerobics, my kids could have free swim lessons. So that was kind of the draw. But after my very first fitness class, I there like something opened up inside of me and I just knew that I was like born to do this. And but at the same time I was like I have no experience. I need to figure out how to, get a little confidence really from getting
Sure.
certified. And went through the whole process of doing group fitness certifications and boy it's like it's like such a long journey, but after getting my group fitness certification I thought this is amazing, but I need more. I need to figure out how do you cue in class, how do you
Mhm.
even design a class. And I found Christy Taylor at the time. I'm sure Shannon, you know who Christy Taylor is.
I do.
Fantastic fitness professional. And she was doing one-on-one teacher, or excuse me, instructor certification at the time. And so I emailed her. There was no social media really
Mhm.
like back then, but emailed her and said, hey, I'd like to do your course. And she took me from just knowing how to make my classes um, like a party. So like how to be a good hostess, how to welcome
Mhm.
people in, how to build a class, how to cue, how to just basically be like a superstar fitness instructor.
Mhm.
Um, Went back home, practiced my guts out at home, and then got my first job. So that's kind of how that started. And boy, a lot has transpired. I'm wondering, like, how much do you want to know? Like,
Yeah, no, that's a great place to start. We're going to get into your fantastic idea that has impacted so many people. But I want to stop there because when we were prepping for this, you and I got into a conversation about mentoring. I love that you bring up Christy. I think back, I think we both learned to teach around the same time for me, late 90s, probably like early 2000s. And back then, there weren't as many diversified specialty certifications.
yes,
So there
yes,
were a lot of people like Christy that taught people how to teach, that focused on the
yeah,
fundamentals. And tell me a little bit about your feeling about mentors, because there isn't. I shouldn't say there's not as much of that now, but it's all the shiny, bright objects, right? Like you want to go
yeah,
learn that piece of equipment or that new format or this new thing.
yes,
And so
yes,
it isn't quite as popular to go and dig into the basics about being an
yeah.
entertainer, but tell me your thoughts on mentorship and how important that is to,
Oh,
who you are today and what
yeah.
you've been able to accomplish.
It was everything. It changed everything for me. So yeah, you're right. There's not as many opportunities, or maybe not as visible opportunities as much.
Yes.
But for sure, finding a good mentor, finding somebody who's willing to kind of take you under their wing. And even,
Mhm.
I mean, even if you're paying them, you know, I mean,
Right.
even if you find somebody and say, hey, look, I really, really admire you. I like how you teach. I like how would you be willing to kind of teach me some of your tricks? And even offer money. I really think people don't have to mentor for free, for sure. Um, and I'll tell you what, those mentoring relationships can turn into lifelong friendships that
Sure.
are so valuable, so valuable. I would say a good place to find mentors is really at a lot of the sort of like the fitness conferences. Like that's a
Mhm.
great place to network. Boy, it's just things have changed so much, right, Shannon? I mean, things have just changed
So
so
much.
much
Yeah.
with the
And
social media.
yeah, and I love that you're saying that because there's a difference between finding people that are teaching a course like what Christy did, because that's how I learned too. I think,
Yeah.
Jennifer Renfro, who's the VP of Crunch, she and I actually learned how to step touch together under
Oh, I
Melissa
love it.
Lane's tutelage. And she did
Wow.
the same thing that Christy did. It was a program she ran quarterly, I think, to
Mhm.
teach people how to teach. And then she would put them into a mentorship program where we would,
Yeah.
be with an instructor for 6 weeks and be in the class. And
Wow.
like I said, I don't know that that happens
Yeah.
as often
Mm-mm.
anymore, but these informal mentor relationships where, even if you just go to people's classes and watch what they're doing and kind of unpack the tricks of the trade. And I love that you mentioned go to fitness conferences. Also, I know you're in our ACE group fitness page.
Mhm.
There's a lot of informal mentoring
Yes.
that goes on there with each other.
Yes.
So check that out. But let's get into a new topic. I know
Yeah.
I love watching you on social, not just all the fitness stuff you do, but you as a woman and a wife and a mother, totally devoted
Yeah.
wife, mom to four amazing boys.
Yeah. Thank
Tell
you.
me, yeah, do you feel like you face challenges as a woman in this industry and as a mom
Oh,
in this
sure.
industry? Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, I hope you don't mind me sharing. Probably about 4 months ago, we lost our oldest son to schizophrenia, so mental illness. And boy, it's mental illness is a real thing. And so if you're a mother to a child with mental illness, boy, that can take a toll. And so the importance of taking care of yourself as a mom, taking care of yourself physically, like exercising and doing those things you need to do to take care of your mental health as well. So yes, absolutely, being in the fitness industry as a mom and trying to balance everything, it's quite the task, right? I mean,
Mhm.
but it's so worth it. The thing is, our world needs fitness. Our population, they need fitness. They need us. They really need us to help them to live a better life, to live the best life they possibly can through
Mhm.
fitness. And so, um, having something outside of being a mom, it's fabulous. It's just I'll tell you what, the fitness professionals that I have met, they are the most top-notch,
Mhm.
amazing, caring, loving, giving people that I've ever associated with in my entire life. Um, Shortly after my son died, Kathy Smith reached out to me and Petra Kolber, and um, we went on a little hike and a sledding. We went sledding, if you can believe that, together. And just the way that as fitness professionals, as women, I think we can lift and build each other and be there for each other in unexpected tragic times, as well as like be there to celebrate each other, promote each other. It's just wow, it is just the most incredible world. Like Shannon, you as well, you do so much good. And you mentioned the ACE group fitness page, fabulous resource, wonderful
Thank you.
resource. So yeah, I it's just the professional fitness world is it's so remarkable and so fun.
Yeah, I know you love it so much. I was having a conversation with Emma Barry, who I'm sure you know, yesterday, and I forget what event she was talking about, but I wonder what you think about the statement she made. She heard Sheryl Sandberg, I think was who she said was speaking. She heard Sheryl Sandberg talk about women. Obviously she wrote the book Lean In. Um,
Yes.
she made a statement to the effect of, and I'm going to butcher the actual quote, which said, if there were more women in leadership roles, the world's problems would go away rather quickly.
Oh, wow.
And I think some of the
Wow.
stuff that you're talking about, that's the conversation Emma and I got into yesterday, is just some of the things that are innate female qualities that sometimes we
Yeah.
suppress because
Mm,
they are feminine and they're touchy feely and they're fuzzy and they're warm.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
very things that sometimes we push down about ourselves when we turn the volume up on them in the fitness industry, not only do they support the other women in the industry, but women looking to get moving, that need the authenticity, right? Like I've always admired, you're so real. That's why I say, like, I don't, not just watching you with your fitness journey on social and knowing you personally, but also watching your motherhood journey, the good, the bad, and
Mm,
the ugly.
yeah.
And you're being an amazing partner to your husband, and how amazingly supportive he is of you.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
really inspiring. So I appreciate that you turn the volume up on all the feminine qualities that we bring
Oh,
that help other folks along the
thank
way. So
you. Thank you. That means a lot.
yeah, you bet. And let's stay on that track. So,
Yeah.
I know you've personally dealt with debilitating health issues. I don't know that I really
Yeah.
realized how long you were in bed,
Yeah.
and oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And then, the mental health issues, your own
Mm,
anxiety disorders, what your family is going through now.
yeah.
How have those things shaped your approach to your work in the fitness
Oh,
industry?
I love that question. Yes. So for a number of years, well, we started filming workouts outdoors across America, and they were pretty intense. And came home, crashed. Just my body completely gave out, crashed. And I think um, all of the resources that I've been able to use to help me get back on track with my health have just really taught about listening, like really listening to our bodies, really
Mm,
tuning in, not pushing too hard. And I love that message, because I think, especially as a brand new fitness instructor, or maybe you've even been an instructor for a little while, sometimes it's easy to run ourselves into the ground, like
mhm.
really easy just to push, push, push. I was guilty of doing that as well when I first started teaching. And just that whole philosophy of um, pulling back, taking care of ourselves, making
Mhm.
sure that we have the strength, that we're even mentally,
Mhm.
it all works together, right? That is the way that we will be able to, through a long period of time, that we'll be able to serve,
Mhm.
especially in the fitness community. So yes, boy, that was a journey. Being in, I had to stay down for a couple years, and that killed me. That
Mhm.
killed me. Oh, that was really tough, especially too, because we didn't quite know what was going on. And
Mhm.
so I don't know if many are familiar. It's Epstein-Barr is what it's called. So and it can flare up if it's too stressful, ever run myself into the ground. But I've really gotten a better handle on it, and learned that, boy, just a side note, I was thinking so much about when I first started teaching, and the importance of being an advocate for yourself.
Mhm.
I was teaching at this gym, and I was teaching on cement, which is
Of course.
crazy, right? Crazy. And my knees started aching, and I went to the main person at the gym, and I'm like, my knees are aching. Is there any way we can get some kind of padding out there? And oh yeah, yeah, we'll take care of it. And did not happen. Did not happen. So finally, just went out and bought my own pads. So I'm just like, this is crazy. I don't want to, have knee replacements by the time I'm 40. So just really protect yourself, advocate for yourself, listen to your body. If I know when we're young, we just feel like we can do it all, for sure. But
Right.
so yeah, it's kind of a roundabout way to answer your question, I guess.
No, no, I love it. And a couple of offshoots from there. I know women share the advice all the time. Make sure you put your oxygen mask on first before you
Yeah,
take care of
yeah,
your family and everyone
yeah.
else. And I've been thinking, we were talking about before we went on the air, I've been thinking about that in my professional life too. And I think
Mhm.
sometimes when, fitness is about giving, and it's about leading, and it's about
Yeah.
motivating. And so sometimes I know for myself, and I wonder if this has happened to you, when that's in your job description column,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
kind of forget that you need to protect yourself from all
Yeah.
that giving over here as well. And it can be tough,
Yes.
because how do you stop giving if you're teaching?
It's so true.
And especially, we're going to get into the virtual stuff when you start working for yourself and trying to pull off something
Sure.
like you did, which is 50 workouts in 50
Yeah.
states that
That's
you're
crazy.
creating, filming,
Yeah.
producing, putting up on YouTube.
Yeah.
How did you? I mean, I know you said you came home and crashed, but then you got back on the road and you finished it. So, in that
Yes.
second part, how did you make sure you took care of yourself? What lessons can other instructors learn?
Oh, that's a great question. Just honestly, balancing my own workouts. I
Mm.
was teaching way too many cardio classes, way too much cardio, which I love cardio, but balancing our own fitness routine. So making sure we've got our strength training, making sure we've got our yoga, our flexibility, our mobility, our stability. I'm probably preaching to the choir. Everybody's like, yeah, we know this. But just reminding ourselves just what fills you, what fills your cup, maybe it's seriously sitting down and vegging and binging a show for a little while. Maybe it's
Mhm.
going out with a friend on a walk. I mean, just what are some things that like seriously you will fulfill your cup and make you ready to serve again? I mean, that it's just, I can't stress it enough how important it is. Because yes, the fitness industry is a service oriented. We just
Mhm.
give and give and give. And I know many instructors experience burnout, and that's a real thing. And I think just taking those cues where if you're dreading going in to teach,
Mhm.
if you're just like, oh, I just can't, maybe you're showing up a little bit late to class because you're like, I just really don't want to be here. And, maybe it's time to switch it up a little bit. Maybe it's
Mhm.
time to, you even mentioned before, Shannon, there's just so many amazing formats out there that you can test and try. And maybe it's just a matter of switching into something, a different format that might sound interesting or kind of fun,
Mhm.
keeping it fresh. But even there's other things you can do. I got my health coach certification as well, because that's the whole behavioral side of our choices, and having the opportunity to even just like sit one-on-one with somebody, and
Mhm.
you're not taxing your body doing that. You're
Right.
you're able to sit but still serve in the
Yeah.
fitness industry. So
Yeah. And I
yeah.
love, we're talking about the physical part. And I think
Mhm.
a lot of instructors have the wherewithal to know the physical burnout piece. I wonder
Yes.
what you think about the mental piece, and you suffered crazy illness, and I was in the
Yes.
hospital for 73 days and I had some infertility struggles. And I
Mm.
remember going to the doctor and it was unknown, kind of like your thing where you had no idea what it was, and that's so
Yeah.
stressful when no one can give you answers.
Yes.
And I don't know if they did this to you, but the answer I kept getting back is you're stressed. And I'm like, I'm not stressed. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And the doctor literally had to sit me down. And I wonder if someone had this talk with you and said, you are stressed, but you're just a highly functioning person with stress. And the things that cause you stress internally, you don't recognize as stress because you've learned how to deal with it.
Mm.
So I wonder if instructors realize that standing up in front of a group of people is
Mhm.
public speaking, which is most people's biggest fear over
Yes.
dying,
Yes.
and you do it on a
Yeah.
daily basis.
Yeah.
Then the second thing that we do that is stress inducing, that even if you say, I don't care what people think about my class, you do.
Yeah.
And it's hard to try to make everyone like it at the same time in a group.
Yes.
And now I wonder, because we're going to talk about your virtual, because you're so good in the virtual space. You were doing virtual before it was cool. Um, but I wonder now how much more stress is coming along with us delivering a lot of our content online,
Mm.
because you don't necessarily, if I'm standing in front of a group of people and I have one person over there with their fingers in their ears complaining about the
Yes.
music, I can still turn around and look at the 50 other people that are having a good
Yes.
time and get an atta
Yes.
girl at the end. But in virtual, like, how do you manage that? And I don't know if you have any people that say mean things or tell you things
Oh,
about your
sure.
video that you don't. How do you
Oh,
manage
sure.
that? I mean, I'm going to call it criticism, because that is stress that like seeps in. If we
Hmm.
don't figure out how to manage that stress, it can lead to burnout too. Tell us how you
Yeah.
deal with that in the virtual world.
That is, wow, that's so hard. Especially because we, as fitness instructors, I feel like we put our heart out there,
Mhm.
especially when we're teaching, and to have people either criticize or not happy, or, I mean, the comments that are like, you're fat, or I just kind of, I'm like, whatever,
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
just somebody who's not happy.
Right.
But like, but the real criticisms that are, I do think there is value in looking at what they're saying, because sometimes it can help you pivot a little bit. It can help you maybe make some positive changes. So I think you have to really be careful. Like, number one,
Mhm.
when you get criticized, it can really mess with your confidence. It can really mess with your head a little bit. But boy, that's Shannon. If I'm honest, like, that's something I still struggle with. Like, if
Mhm.
I get criticized, I'm like, it hurts. It's
It
like,
does.
wow, this is painful. This is I thought you would like this. I don't know. So I
Right.
think, yeah, that's tough. But I do think there is some, and my husband's taught me this, there is some value in trying to listen to constructive criticism. I guess that's,
Constructive. Yeah.
yes, more of that
Hmm.
constructive criticism where, especially if you're hearing the same thing from a couple people, like
Hmm.
you can kind of figure out that that's okay. If 3 or 4 people are saying that, that's probably, a number of people are feeling that same way. So,
Right, for sure.
yeah.
And I think us just being a community and holding one another up and
Yeah.
supporting one another, because you're right. I mean, we are our product.
Hmm.
And that's very different than going to an office
Yes.
job and the product
Yes.
being removed from you personally. And you're like, but I created this little baby for you and I gave it to you. Why don't you love it as much as I do?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know for me, part of it is, yes, listening to the constructive feedback, but also knowing that I'm not everyone's cup of tea and being okay
Yes.
with that too.
Yes.
And I think it's a hard lesson to learn. But now that we have virtual as an avenue, better, because you don't have to make there's a real urgency to make everyone at 5:30 like you if you have a time slot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But when you can put your workouts online and people can
Yes.
come to you, maybe that's going to be, if we can learn how to manage it, that'll be a nice change of pace. I do want to tell people
Yeah.
about your virtual stuff. Like I said,
Yeah.
you've been doing virtual before it was called virtual, before it was cool, before anyone was talking about it. I remember you telling me about it at that idea, and I was like, "You're doing what now?" And not only were you doing it virtual, you were filming all these videos, but you were also doing step, which I was like, "You go,
Hmm.
girl! Take it back, old school. That's
Yeah.
awesome."
It's so
Um,
true.
but again, I say like you were so passionate about it because you're like, no, I know it kind of goes with what I was just saying. You're like, no, I know there are people that want this. They might not be
Mhm.
in, you got this before anyone else. You're like, they may not be in the gym,
Yeah.
but I know these videos they need
Yeah.
to be made. Like it's my love
Yeah.
language. I need to give this gift to the
Yes.
world. People will find it. Tell us I'm going to let you tell your story. Tell us about what you do online, where the idea came from,
Mhm.
and a little bit more about what you've got going on in that space.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, back in the day, back in the day when YouTube was kind of new, I and DVDs were kind of a big deal still back then. I know a lot
Mhm.
of maybe the younger audience is thinking DVDs, what the
Right.
heck? But yeah, DVDs for fitness videos were actually a pretty big thing. And so we filmed a step video. I sent it to a distribution place online that I was a no name. Like nobody knew who in the world I was. And we just took a chance, sent it in. And oh, I skipped the whole story of how we even did that. Anyway, that's okay. But I was going to tell you how I'm, anyway, I don't know how we're doing for time. But so do I have time to tell the little story about how we had lost everything? Like we had lost our house. We were living with my in-laws. I
Yeah.
had just gotten certified as a fitness instructor. I wanted to make DVDs. My husband's a filmmaker, so we could
Mhm.
do it on the cheap. Because when I talked to Christy Taylor at the time, she was like, "Oh, like $30,000 to do a production." I'm like, 30,000.
Mhm.
So my husband and I were like, well, let's do this on the cheap. We didn't have money. I mean, like it was a rough time, just because we had lost everything. And my husband found this old piano for our kids, and he needed to fix it up. So he took it apart, and he found these silver dollars inside the piano.
That
And
story.
I know it's like so amazing. And I mean, we did try to contact the owners, just so you know, to like say, hey, you left money in your piano, but they never responded. So we were able to cash in those silver dollars and have enough money to film this first workout. So it was kind of like a crazy story, right? And then this company, Collage Video at the time, they took
Mhm.
the DVD. They at the time they had this really extensive process where like fitness instructors would like test out the workouts and they say yes or no. And they came back with a yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? So they took that first workout and I'm like, I'm off. We're doing this. We're gonna film DVDs. This is what I want to do. So we filmed a second one and I submitted it and they turned it down. And I was like, oh, like I felt like such a failure. I was like, wow, I really thought this is what we were supposed to do. We kind of sat, I really did. Like I kind of went back to just teaching group fitness. And but I was like, I guess that's it. I'm done. I guess I was wrong. And about a year later, my husband, he ended up uploading the video to YouTube, like the full hour, full workout. Nobody was doing that. And I was like, for free? You're just going to give it to people for free? Are you kidding me? Like nobody was giving stuff away for free at that
Mm-hmm.
time. Like, I'm like, that's crazy. But then the view, it's the numbers, like the views, and it started like really taking off. And so he was just like, yeah, I think there's something here. And so, yeah, for sure. We were very fortunate to kind of get into YouTube before anybody else was really doing that. But Step, yes, you were right. Step is my love. I would say to any instructors out there, find the format you are most passionate about, and people will feel that. They will absolutely be drawn to you. They will just be like, you are what I've been looking for. You know, and you're right. At the time, nobody was teaching Step in gyms, and finding that worldwide niche, like it's definitely a niche of, oh, I lost my earbud. My AirPod, whatever they're called. But finding that niche though, you will draw, you will like a magnet, you'll draw people into you that are looking for what you want to do. And it just kind of took off from there. We just, my husband built a studio for me in our garage. We still have it. We still use it sometimes. And then filming across America, filming outside. That my husband lost both his parents, like tragically, just from illness, cancer, and dementia over the last 3 years, and got a little money for inheritance wise. And he's just like, let's do it. Let's go finish the States. And so that's just been the story. That's find what you're passionate about. Find the. I'm serious. Like, you don't have to have a filmmaker husband to do it. You really don't. I mean, nowadays with our, our cell phones, and we can go on YouTube, and YouTube how to find, microphone equipment, how to sound equipment, and you can do it. You can totally do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, so much to unpack in that story, words of wisdom that you don't even know you're giving. I think the first is, no, you don't have to have a filmmaker husband, but I do think that one of the secrets to your success is having a very supportive partner. And I say partner because it doesn't have to be a husband or, a romantic partner, but having someone that believes in you as much as you believe in yourself, so they can continue to support you through the good times and the bad. The second thing, the luck, I hate the word luck, but I'm reading a really interesting book by Jim Collins. And one of the things they talk about in it is that every great success story, they can point back to places along the way that just by happenstance, some incredible circumstance came about that they got to capitalize on, which you did. And I was going to say, what do you think the secret to your success was? And everyone's always looking for like a marketing tip or trick or social media tip or trick. And I hope you guys go back and rewind and listen to what Jenny said. Find something you're passionate about that you believe in, because now more than ever, I mean, I think you would agree with virtual, you can do what you want. If you truly know who you want to serve, what you want to provide, and have a strong why behind it, and you put it out there and are authentic in your delivery of that message, they will come to you. It might take some time. It's not going to happen overnight, right?
No.
But it's so different. Not that I'm telling people you don't have to go back to in the gym, but we are encumbered in some ways inside of facilities because we have to be like one of 31 flavors. Versus when you can do stuff on virtual, you can be very specific about what you love. But do you have any other words of wisdom? Like, what do you think the secret to, because you got to like 19,000 YouTube followers like that before it was a thing. Any other things that you want to share that you think led to your success?
I would definitely say being a certified fitness professional is huge. I know I've talked to many people who are like, I don't need to be certified. And I think there are kind of a lot of people who feel like, just pick up a camera and film, you'll be, but I think we have a responsibility to our participants to stay certified as fitness professionals. It gives yourself confidence. It teaches you, because you have to research, keep up your education credits, but it really helps you to stay cutting edge and on top of the most recent science. But I would say the beauty of doing virtual is you find your people. I don't know a better way to say it, but your people find you, you find your people, and you build a community. And yes, you're right, Shannon, it takes a little bit of time. Be patient, but boy, if that's your desire and that's your heart, do it. I mean, so many people do so many different platforms. Some people teach on
Mhm,
Zoom,
mhm.
YouTube, you can do Facebook Lives. I know we're building a website at the moment where you can possibly do live videos from your website. I mean, there's just so
Cool.
many avenues that you can find in order to um, reach people that you probably would have never reached before. So that's
Yeah.
the beauty
Oh,
of it, of virtual. Yeah.
that's great. You've given so much great advice
Mhm.
for GFIs and PTs that are looking to go online. Tell us what's next for you. What are we going to see from Ginny in the coming
Well,
days, weeks, and years?
I appreciate you asking. We are marketing our Walk Across America workouts right now. 50 workouts,
Mhm.
50 states. But the
So
big one
awesome.
that's coming up in January. I mean, I don't want to discredit Walk Across America. It's amazing. No equipment. Beginners, marketing beginners. If you don't have
Mm,
a problem with marketing beginners, it's a huge audience. My biggest viewed videos on YouTube are my beginner workouts. Like they have
mhm.
2 million views. So if you don't have a problem with thinking about our beginner community, do it. I would say go for it. I'm so glad I remembered that. Market your beginners. They're beautiful people, our beginners. And then
Mhm.
our Step Across America program is coming out probably in January. So that's kind of what's
Awesome.
up for us at the moment. Yep.
I love that. I want to go back to talking about beginners because,
Yeah.
and this is circling all the way back to the beginning. Then I promise I'll let you go because I've taken up
I
so
know
much
you're
of your
fine.
time.
No, you're fine.
Um, yes, beginners are a huge market, but I want to add something to that. Beginners like you because you don't pander to beginners. So I do watch a lot of fitness professionals that hear you and go, okay, let me do beginners. But then it's
Mm.
almost like that school marm that's kind of talking down and like being, does that
Oh,
make
sure.
sense? You have
Yes.
such
Yes.
a way with beginners where, and I know on your website you talk about like, this is a no shame place. This is a no judgment
Yes.
place.
Yes.
And I think, do you have any words of advice to share? Like, how do you get that across? Like, we want to share our wisdom and our experience and help people feel cared for, but how do you strike that balance where you don't come across as kind of talking down and at
Yes.
versus beside and supporting? Because you do it so well.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. No, you don't want to have people feel like you're condescending. Exactly. You
Mhm.
want to have them feel, I think the best way to do it is when you are teaching, you use more like inclusive language. So
Yeah.
I would say, we're here together. We're going to work our whatever. We're going to work our muscles today. We're here together. I'm so happy we're here to take care of ourselves. So I think that inclusive language helps a
Mm.
ton. Um, not being ashamed of teaching beginners. I know that sounds really strange, but maybe you know
That's
what I'm
great.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not like there is no shame in teaching beginners. It's an amazing experience. And the thing is, you know what I love? I love participants that have started as beginners with me and grown and gotten better and gotten more persistent or consistent, I mean, with their
Mhm.
exercise, and now they don't even work out with me. Now they're out like running the trails, and
Uh-huh.
I still kind of watch them on social media, and I just think, yes, that's what
I
it's
did that. I was
about.
a part of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I always said as a group fitness manager, and Melissa Lane instilled this in me a long time ago, like you actually have to pick the best instructors to teach beginners.
yeah,
And you're right. Like you have to be so confident in yourself that I can still be really effective and
yeah,
impactful, even if
yeah,
they're not doing, the air jacks at minute two.
yeah,
Anyway, I
yeah,
know I hadn't prepared you
yeah.
for that question, but what I
No,
would
it's
say to
okay.
the audience, coming back around, we started talking about mentorship. Go learn from Jenny. Go take a look at
Oh,
her website,
yeah.
all of her social. We'll make sure we post it in the comments or in this post so you know where to find her. But check out her videos. Like I said, she's been doing this a long time and did virtual before virtual was cool. So much to be learned from you from afar. So I appreciate you taking the time and sharing your story with
Yes.
us today.
Yes. Absolute joy to be with you, Shannon. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. All right. Bye for now, you guys.
Okay.